It was a crisp Friday morning in New York City, and the streets were already alive with the buzz of the weekend rush. The storefronts along Fifth Avenue gleamed in the early sunlight, their luxurious displays beckoning shoppers. Among them was a high-end boutique known for catering to the wealthiest clientele, a store so exclusive that even entering it seemed like an achievement. This boutique wasn't just a store, it was an experience, a place where wealthy elites came to indulge in custom-made suits, dresses, and accessories. Barron Trump, now in his early 20s, walked down the sidewalk dressed casually in a plain white shirt, black jeans, and sneakers. He wore a baseball cap low over his face, his tall frame unmistakable to anyone paying attention. But in a city like New York, where celebrities and socialites were a dime a dozen, most people didn't give him a second glance. Today, Barron was on a mission. He had recently taken an interest in fashion and decided it was time to upgrade his wardrobe. However, he didn't want special treatment or tailored suits pre-approved by a family advisor. He wanted to experience it as any other customer would. The boutique's entrance was guarded by large glass doors and a doorman who eyed each passerby carefully. Barron hesitated for a moment, then pushed the door open, stepping into the boutique. Inside, the air was cool and fragrant, with a faint scent of expensive cologne. The space was sleek and modern, with polished floors and golden accents, and racks filled with designer pieces that could easily cost as much as a car. Barron walked toward a section displaying suits, running his fingers over the fine fabric. He had no intention of flaunting his family's wealth or revealing his identity. Instead, he hoped for an ordinary shopping experience, just like anyone else. But it quickly became clear that this would be anything but ordinary. A sharply dressed salesperson, a man in his late 30s named Gregory, spotted Barron from across the room. Gregory had been working at the boutique for nearly a decade and prided himself on his ability to assess clients at a glance. He could sniff out wealth, or the lack of it, within seconds, and in his mind, Barron didn't pass the test. Gregory approached with a tight smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Can I help you with something?" he asked, his tone clipped. "Yes," Barron replied, his voice polite but firm. "I'm looking for a few suits. Something classic but versatile." Gregory's eyes scanned Barron's outfit, his expression betraying his judgment. The sneakers, the plain shirt, none of it screamed wealthy client to him. To Gregory, this young man looked like someone who had wandered into the wrong store, perhaps hoping to catch a glimpse of luxury he couldn't afford. "Well," Gregory said, crossing his arms, "our suits start at $10,000. Are you sure this is the right store for you?" Barron raised an eyebrow, momentarily taken aback by the tone. "I'm aware of the prices," he said calmly. "I'd like to see what you have." Gregory's smile turned patronizing. "Of course," he said, though his tone suggested otherwise. He led Barron to a section of the store with suits on display but made no effort to provide further assistance. Instead, he lingered nearby, occasionally glancing at Barron as though expecting him to leave. Barron examined a navy suit, appreciating the craftsmanship. He asked Gregory a question about the material, but the salesperson's response was curt. It was clear Gregory didn't take him seriously as a customer. After a few minutes of this treatment, Barron decided to try a different approach. He selected a few suits and asked if he could try them on. Gregory hesitated, clearly reluctant. "The fitting rooms are reserved for serious clients," he said. "Are you sure you want to try these on? We wouldn't want to waste time if you're just browsing." Barron met Gregory's gaze, his patience thinning. "I'm quite serious," he said, "and I'd appreciate the chance to try these on." With a sigh, Gregory led Barron to the fitting rooms. "Fine," he said, "but make it quick." As Barron disappeared behind the curtain, Gregory turned to a colleague and muttered under his breath. "Some people have no business being in a place like this," he said, rolling his eyes. "I bet he's just here to take selfies for social media." Unbeknownst to Gregory, another employee, a young woman named Clara, had overheard the exchange. Clara had recently been hired and was still learning the ropes, but she believed in treating every customer with respect. She frowned at Gregory's attitude but said nothing, knowing he had seniority. When Barron emerged from the fitting room, wearing one of the suits, he looked every bit the part of a sophisticated young man. The suit fit him perfectly, accentuating his tall frame. Gregory, however, barely glanced at him. "It's fine, I guess," Gregory said dismissively. "But maybe next time, try a store that's more within your budget?" Barron's eyes narrowed slightly, but he remained composed. "Thank you for your help," he said, his tone measured. He changed back into his clothes, returned the suits to the rack, and left the boutique without another word. The incident could have ended there, but fate had other plans. The following week, the boutique staff received an unexpected announcement. The owner of the store, a reclusive billionaire who had acquired the boutique years ago, had sold the company to a new investor. The staff buzzed with speculation about the buyer's identity, but no one knew for sure. A meeting was scheduled for Friday morning to introduce the new owner. Gregory, confident in his status as one of the store's top salespeople, saw it as an opportunity to secure favor with whoever was taking over. He rehearsed a few lines in his head, planning to highlight his expertise and tenure. When Friday arrived, the staff gathered in the boutique before opening hours. They stood in a semicircle, facing the store manager, who cleared her throat and began to speak. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said, "I'm pleased to introduce the new owner of the boutique. Please welcome Mr. Barron Trump." The room fell silent as Barron stepped forward, dressed impeccably in one of the very suits he had tried on during his previous visit. His expression was calm, but there was a spark of amusement in his eyes as he surveyed the stunned faces of the staff. Gregory's jaw dropped. He blinked several times, as though hoping he was imagining things. The young man he had dismissed and ridiculed just days ago was now standing before him as his boss. "Good morning, everyone," Barron said, his voice steady and confident. "I'm honored to take on this role and to continue the boutique's legacy of excellence. I believe in this store and its potential to be more than just a place to buy clothes. It should be a space where everyone feels valued and respected." His gaze lingered on Gregory for a moment, though he didn't address him directly. Gregory shifted uncomfortably, the weight of his earlier actions pressing down on him. Barron continued, outlining his vision for the store. He spoke about modernizing the brand, expanding its reach, and fostering a culture of inclusivity. His words were met with nods of approval from most of the staff, who were impressed by his poise and leadership. After the meeting, Gregory approached Barron, his expression sheepish. "Mr. Trump," he began, I had no idea who you were. If I'd known..." Barron held up a hand, stopping him. "You shouldn't need to know someone's name to treat them with respect," he said calmly. "Every customer deserves the same courtesy, regardless of how they're dressed or what you assume about them." Gregory nodded, his face red with embarrassment. "You're absolutely right," he said. "I'm truly sorry for how I acted." Barron's expression softened slightly. "I hope you'll take this as a lesson," he said. "Not just for me, but for anyone who walks through those doors." From that day forward, the boutique underwent significant changes. Clara, the young employee who had always treated customers with kindness, was promoted to a senior position. Gregory, humbled by the experience, made a genuine effort to change his attitude, becoming one of the store's most attentive and respectful employees. As for Barron, he proved to be an innovative and thoughtful leader, transforming the boutique into a brand that prioritized both luxury and inclusivity. His quiet presence and decisive actions left a lasting impact, not just on the store, but on everyone who worked there. And though the story of the salesperson who rejected him became an amusing anecdote among the staff, it also served as a powerful reminder: never underestimate the quiet ones. You never know who they might turn out to be.